It's time for my first proper monotype run, so let's see if I can beat Pokemon Swords with only fighting types. This is a fairly new ROM hack that follows a typical Pokemon story: defeat the evil team and become the champion. However, in this, you not only get to explore a brand new region, but you take part in a tournament instead of battling gyms. Also, your parents are the evil team leaders. Well, actually your mother is. Your dad left after he felt things were going too far. Anyway, that's all I'm going to say on the story, so if you want to know more, then I would highly recommend you check this thing out. The rules for this challenge are pretty simple. I can only use fighting type Pokemon in battle. HMs aren't a thing in this game, so I won't need to catch any other Pokemon. And I can't use items in battle except for held items. If you enjoy this video, then be sure to leave a like, subscribe and click the bronze on for future content. Now then, let's get on with it. So in this game, your starter Pokemon is a Riolu. This is already an awesome start. But as you can see on screen, this little guy is wearing a red scarf, which we gave it some years ago when we were a kid. After this, we explore the sewers of the first city and find ourselves a Croagunk. This is really awesome since it has a unique poison fighting typing. I've never actually used one of these guys before, so this should be fun. Time for our first battle against our friend, Velora. As this was my first proper rival fight, it was pretty easy. Croagunk took down Cleffa with a couple of poison stings, and Riolu took out the rest of her team. He did get paralysed against Hummereet, but we only lost one turn to paralysis, so overall, things weren't too bad. Minutes later, we bump into Lucas from the Gen 4 games, and we've got to fight him. This fight was even easier than before, as it was just a simple sweep with Mach Punch. He did lower my attack twice and got a couple of scratches in, but I wasn't in any real danger. Alright, now we've got the first round of the tournament. Now the way this works is you battle 3 trainers, 2 regular NPCs, then a boss character from another game. Luckily, you do get to heal in between battles. Now for this tournament, I'm just going to skip through to the third character of each round, which in this case is Roark from Sinnoh. Not gonna lie, I was a bit worried about this battle, as Croagunk fainted to a critical hit off screen, meaning that I only had Riolu for this fight. It started off pretty bad as his opening Pokemon set up a sandstorm and tracked me in Sand Tomb. On top of that, he tried to stall me out with a potion, but thankfully we took him down quickly afterwards. After that, it was a simple case of hitting his rock types as hard as possible with my fighting moves. GG. While training in the next cave, I caught myself a Makuhita. Hariyama is a really strong Pokemon, and this thing has sheer force for its ability. This trades in secondary effects for added power. This guy is going to be a great addition to the team. I also caught a Mienfoo, which is another fighting type that I am yet to try out. Just before the next major battle, I also managed to catch a Meditite. Having a Psychic type is going to provide some much needed type coverage. Plus, having the pure power ability to double our attack is really something special. Speaking of that major battle, we've got to deal with one of the evil team's admins, Flo. Now this battle took at least 5 attempts. I can get past her Larvesta and Salandit fairly easily, but her fucking Trubbish was just the worst. It spams double team, toxic spikes, and likes to stall with potions. Fortunately, on the attempt you're seeing now, Meditite was able to land enough confusions before it could boost its dodge chance too much. I breathed a sigh of relief after that thing went down. After that, her Grovyle went down to 2 Force Palms. While heading to the second round of the tournament, we bump into Lyra, who challenges us to a battle. It started off with her countering my attack boosts with defensive buffs. Fortunately, she stopped before I did, so Mienfoo took down Meryl pretty easily. She did the same against her Bayleaf, but not before getting poisoned and Reflect being put up. This didn't help her Vulpix though, as we'd already set up too many boosts. After that, her last 2 Pokemon went down to 2 confusions from Meditite. Easy fight. Our second tournament opponent is Cheryl. She was much easier than Roark before her. Makuhita took out her Drifloon in 2 hits, and Croagunk was a perfect counter to her Wailmer, since our ability makes water moves useless. Her Wormadam just kept spamming Protect, but we eventually poisoned it and it went down. After that, Chansey was a 1-hit with Force Palm. Another easy battle. We have another battle with Velora now, but this one was just as easy as before, if not more so. Riolu took out 4 of her 5 Pokemon, and Meditite finished off the last one. She's progressing through the tournament too, I might add, so I hope she provides more of a challenge when we inevitably have to face her. Right after, I caught a Timber, so we now have enough Pokemon to fill out our team, though I am still going to keep my eyes open for others. Round 3 in the tournament, and I'm facing Aron, the bug trainer from Sinnoh. Despite having lost half my team before getting to him, this battle was overall pretty easy. Krogunk put in some serious work with Rock Tomb, but was unable to take out his Vespiquen since it kept stalling with Roost and Substitute. As such, Gerda took it out, and my new sick looking Lucario took care of his Scizor. At this point, I'm just hoping that I can buy Revive soon. On the next route, I caught myself a Pancham. If we evolve this, we'll have one of the most gangster looking Pokemon, Pangoro. It'll also be Dark type, meaning more type coverage. Oh yeah, I also caught a Machop and a Stuffle. Time for round 4, and now we're up against Silver. Now this guy actually put up a fight. Every time we took down one of his team, he would then take down one of mine, including Lucario. Fortunately for me, he had a complete brain fart at the end, and kept trying to use a water move on Krogunk, even though my ability protects me from such attacks. Great job there, mate. Now we've got to take on another elite member of the evil team, Harry. Now on my first attempt I actually got demolished, but after seeing his team I realised that Lucario was a perfect counter to each of them, and that was all I needed to secure the victory. Get wrecked. Time for the next round of the tournament, and look who it is, it's Barry the Twat. I hated this fight. He's a lot tougher than I remember him being in the Gen 4 games. Not only does all of his team hit like a truck, but he loves to spam Toxic and Protect. You know, the two moves that make Pokemon completely unfun to play. In fact, this battle took so long that his Hitmontop ran out of PP on Protect because he wouldn't stop using it. It also didn't help that Krogunk got frozen in a previous battle and took the full 5 turns to thaw out. I did eventually pull through with some switch strategies, but it's clear that I need to level up my team some more. We're jumping straight into round 6 against Riley. This fight was much better than the last one. Lucario now has Sword Stance, and thanks to that we were able to demolish his first few team members. After that, Hariyama and Beware finished off the last two. I could have probably won with just Lucario if I'd used another Sword Stance. Oh well. Now we can finally catch a Heracross. This is one of, if not my favourite fighting type, so it's a joy to have this lad on the team. Let's keep progressing with the tournament. This time, we're up against Hugh. This fight was even easier than the last, as I managed to build up all 3 Sword Stances with Lucario. After that, each of his Pokemon was a one-shot sweep. He did have a strong team that would have posed a threat to us, so I'm glad we shut him down quickly. Time for the last normal round. This time, we're up against Gladion from Sun and Moon. I enjoyed this one. His Crobat hit like a truck with Brave Bird and took Medicham out, but this gave me the opportunity to set up 3 Sword Stances with Lucario. After that, he took out his Zoroark, but got outsped by his own Lucario due to extreme speed. Toxicroak would have taken him out, but Gladion withdrew him for Charizard, who we fainted to. Hariyama just about finished him off, while Heracross took out the Lucario and beat down his Selvalai, taking advantage of his type change ability. GG. Alright, we're moving on to the finals, and our first opponent is Dawn. As you can see, I made sure to overlevel a bit in preparation for this fight, and it ended up paying off as 1 Sword Stance was all I needed to one-shot sweep her whole team. I was just grateful that her Spiritomb missed its Will-O-Wisp, as that would have crippled me, and the fight would have been a lot tougher for sure. Now we're up against Lucas once again. This one was a bit tougher. Lucario took hefty damage off his Staraptor while setting up. As such, he went down to his Infernape after Staraptor was gone. Medicham was able to bring down the Fire Monkey, but not before Lucas healed him and burned us. After that, Beware showed just how much of a physical tank he really was, thanks to his Fluffy ability, and effectively bulldozed his way through the rest of his team. Now we've got to battle Velora in the finals. I set up 2 Sword Stances, but her Clefable paralysed me in the process. This proved to be Lucario's downfall, as he couldn't attack her Primarina and went down. Krogunk did too, as I wasted time setting up instead of attacking. Once again, I brought in my fluffy teddy bear to tank his way through the rest of her team, until her Roserade, whom was dealt with by Heracross. In a strange way, her Poison Point ability saved me, as it meant that her Sleep Powder failed. GG. Now we're competing for the title of champion against Frio. The story has been building him up as our rival, so this should be good. It starts off well with Beware one-shotting his Talonflame, and doing the same to his Zoroark, but not before getting nearly knocked out himself. Ferrothorn was an easy one-shot with Fire Punch, but up next was his ace, an Eclipsed Garchomp. Eclipsed Pokemon have a new type, and I didn't know its matchups at the time, so I ended up losing Heracross to it, but I was able to whittle it down just enough for Lucario to finish it off with a Meteor Mash. His Electivire then took us out, but got beaten down by Hariyama. Then the cycle repeated with his Swampert and my Medicham. Now we may be the champion, but the run isn't over, We've got beef with the evil team now. Time for a rematch against Flo. We won first try, but it was close. I managed to get rid of her annoying Garbodor in 2 hits, and almost took down her Gliscor, but it managed to set up and outspeed us, knocking out Lucario in the process. Beware was able to tank his way through it, but was too slow to deal with her Volcarona. Toxicroak went down soon after, but Hariyama finished it off, and even did big damage to her Salazzle before going down. From there, Medicham was able to mop up the rest of her team. Harry is up next. This was another decent battle, with a lot of back and forth. He got some big hits in, but we weren't in any major danger, as we had an answer for everything he threw at us. The same can't be said this time though, as we've got to deal with both of them together. This one was certainly closer than the last battle, as I ended up being left with only 2 Pokemon still kicking by the end of it. For every one of their Pokemon that I was able to knock out, they took out one of mine. GG. Time to save the world from our own mother. This was a tough one, as all of her Pokemon are eclipsed, and were both tanky and powerful. Thankfully, most of my team have Rock Tomb on their moveset, so I was able to deal some super effective damage. Still, this one also ended up being close, as most of her team appeared to be holding Life Orbs, which gives them a power boost. This actually ended up benefiting me though, as it meant the recoil damage they took was enough to help me knock them out. Tough break, mother. Now we've got one final battle against the Eclipse deity, Eclatus. We've been a higher level than most of our opponents lately, but all that changed against this thing. I had to throw my whole team at it as it was just so powerful. I managed to lower its speed thanks to Beware's Rock Tomb, so the rest of my team were able to get at least one hit in. Eventually, it came down to just Hariyama, who survived and would have landed the finishing blow, but it fainted due to making contact with my rocky helmet. Woo. Now that was a roller coaster of a ROM hack. I really hope you guys enjoyed this one. I sure did. That said, this one took a while to get through, so next time we're going to head back to the base games for a little while so that I can catch up with my schedule again. If you guys did enjoy this video, then don't forget to leave a like, comment and subscribe for more content from me in the future. Now until next time, have an awesome day.